Friends, welcome back to my channel. Regarding the fertilizer company results, some companies have posting very weak results. So one company that actually posted very weak results for Q1 of Fy24 is Gujarat Nama Valley Fertilizers and Chemicals. So it is trading at 550 levels on 10th August at 11:37 a.m. So it is high and low prices 798 and 484. So its price earner multiple is 8.75 based on last year's earnings. So its 52, which is dividend is 1.77%. Book value 579. It's near book value now. So it is one of the leading fertilizer companies promoted. It's a joint sector enterprise promoted by Gujarat State Investment Limited, Government of Gujarat Undertaking, and Gujarat State Fertilizer Corporation. It was set up in 1876 and manufactured. It is actually manufactured by a range of chemicals and fertilizer products. And it posted big results for Q1 of Fy24. It posted a sales of 1652 crores and then net profit of just 85 crores and a profit before tax of 116 crores, and then EPS has sharply dropped to 5.47. And if you see the same period last year, it was the sales was 2696 crores and the net profit was 237 crores and the EPS was 15.25. And you can see that the results were much lower than the levels recorded in the all-time high net profit was recorded in March quarter of last year. It posted a net profit of 643 crores and EPS of 41, and it posted in the last June quarter it posted 569 crores net profit with an EPS of 36.61. So the results are much lower. So that is actually reflecting the share price. Also, it is corrected to 550 levels now. So it is if you see the yearly results of this company, Gujarat Fertilizers, it is actually having some increase in sales over the years. So in the last 3-4 years, actually posting very good results. So there were a period it made a loss of 450 crores in 2015. That's the only period in which it actually made a loss. Then from around 173 crores in 2016, net profit increased to 521 crores in 2017 to 790 crores in 2018, and then to 741 crores in 2019. Then it had a dip to around 499 crores into FY20, possibly due to COVID pandemic. There was some impact on the profitability. So from there, it actually started increasing based on their increased expansion. They actually had a sales of 5129 crores and net profit of 689 crores in FY21, and all-time high net profit of 1704 crores in FY22 with an EPS of 109. And the last year it was 1464 crores and EPS of 94. So and this year is likely to we need there were some factors attributed to the very poor results. So if you see the presentation of the company, they mentioned that the nutrient based subsidy were reduced in on 18th May. So subsidy levels are down, improving the working capital. So government is actually actively considering working on the policy for your industry stakeholders, and the presentation are on for the concession in energy terms of coal based units. So due to the reduction in subsidy, their profitability is impacted this year. And due to the steep divergence in gas and methanol prices, the methanol requirements are made based on make versus buy approach so as to improve the margin. And the chemical realizations were also pressure across the board, and this will impact the profitability. And the concentrated nitric acid, they actually have doing some expansion plans, and they will start production of concentrated nitric acid in July 2023. And the energy prices have also dropped in the first quarter compared to the previous quarter the same year, previous year. And also their Bharuch plant also witnessed annual shutdown in the Q1 of Fy24. So that is also impacted. Also the Biparjoy impact. Biparjoy actually made a landfall in Gujarat during the first quarter. So that also made a impact, and their windmill location that actually might have impacted profitability. So we can actually expect improvement in net profit, but we need to see how much the improvement comes from the net profit, and they were able to post higher sales and revenues. So I am actually expecting that midnight the revenue might increase to 2,200 crores once the cyclone impact we are actually able to the operation of this their plans actually started, and once the expansion starts, the revenue can increase further. But we need to wait for the quarter results. So what I did, so if you see the share price movement of this, you can see that the last 5 years it made an all-time high for around from it was trading at just 106 levels in March 2020. Then it actually started rising to around 240 levels in December, and it touched to 370 levels in July 2021. It made a high all-time high of around 865 levels in April 2022 based on EPS of over. It made an all-time high EPS of over 106 in FY22. So based on that, the share price touched all-time high of around 833 levels. So then it actually had a correction to around 620 levels in June of last year, and at touching 740 levels again in September. It has now trading at around 540 levels. So based on the latest results, it has still corrected from around 570 levels to around 540 levels. So we need to actually wait for the further quarter results, whether we can actually before we start aggressively investing in GNFC. So I'm actually invested in this company from very low levels of 4 or 250 levels. I had around 20, higher quantity. I actually have sold partial quantity currently based on the very weak results. So I'll be investing more once the results improve in the further quarters, and once the expansion results actually show the benefits of the expansion also, the revenues can increase further and I will accumulate more in future. But for now, it will be good to at least book partial profit, or if we are actually sitting in a loss, we can actually book a loss, and we can actually expect that the revenues can increase in future. So based on the higher the fertilizer companies are long-term basis, they are actually expected to increase revenues, like what you can show in the results here. The first sales has improved from 5,060 crores in 2020 to around 10,000 crores in 2023. So we can actually expect that this can increase to 15,000 crores and 20,000 crores in the next 3-5 years. And then naturally the net profit will also increase, and the share price can actually touch 700,000 levels also. So if you are actually investing, we can invest now, considering that it's actually corrected over 50% from the peak of around 850 levels. But if you want to get very good returns, we need to wait for the results to improve, so that the share price can also rise based on those results. And some more points regarding their expansion plans of GNFC. In the website, you can actually see that they are actually planning a lot of. They are actually planning a 4 megawatt solar power project, so that is expected to be commissioned FY 23-24. And they are also planning a 10 megawatt electrolyzer based green hydrogen project. So that is actually phase 1 is expected to be complete by FY 24-25. And they are also planning a coal based steam power plant with 150 metric ton per hour steam with 80 generates 80 megawatt of power. They expect to be commissioned by FY 26. And they are also planning the ammonia expansion of 50 kilotons per annum, but is expected to be commissioned by FY 27. And weak nitric acid plant is expected to be commissioned 200 kilotons per annum, expected to be commissioned by FY 27, middle of FY 27. And the ammonium nitrate pills, the 160 kilotons are expected to completion FY 27. And the concentrated nitric acid started commercial production July this year. So based on all these expansion plans, we can actually expect the revenues from the current level of over 15, the current revenue for over 10,000 crores. We can actually expect the revenues to rise to around 12,000 to 15,000 crores in the next 3-4 years. And hopefully the net profit also increase to around 1,800 to 2,000 crores. So possibly they can actually result in the EPS to rise to around 100 levels, and the stock price can actually touch around 800 700 800 levels again in the next 2 to 3 years. So I am actually very bullish on long term basis based on the GNFC, based on their planned expansions in future. And but a risk averse investor need to keep a stop loss, because based on the results the stock price can actually vary. And but we need to watch the results, and the results improve only, I am actually expecting the rise in the share price. But I am actually very bullish on a personal level. I am actually very bullish on this company for long term basis, on a 3-5 year basis.